Do you want the most value out of your money? Of course you do. Who doesn't? Well, then stick around because the Chase Freedom Flex card might be right up your alley. With no annual fees and the potential to get a nice chunk of money and cash back, there's probably a reason why people haven't stopped talking about it. But is it everything it's cracked up to be? Or are people lost in the hype? This is the Freedom Flex card by Chase, and I'm sure you've probably heard from others or seen online that for many people, this card can be a great addition to your wallet. But why is that? Well, let's take a look at what it has to offer, as well as what this card's all about. First off, the Freedom Flex has 0% intro APR for 15 months. That means that any purchases you make in the first 15 months of being approved for this card will be totally interest-free as long as you make the final payment within that time frame. On top of that, if you didn't already know, the Freedom Flex card is a World Elite MasterCard. This means it comes with benefits like cell phone insurance, luxury hotel benefits, concierge service, along with some different memberships and discounts. Next up is a benefit that I know a lot of you will be pleased to hear, and that's that the Freedom Flex has no annual fee. Whenever I talk about the downsides of credit cards, the annual fee is usually at the very top of the list. So it's always a huge bonus whenever a credit card company offers an alternative that essentially has no drawbacks. And generally, while credit cards that have no annual fee often don't offer that much in terms of rewards, the Freedom Flex is different. The first reward you'll be enjoying is the sign-up bonus. Even though the offers can vary, the stand-up bonus ranges from $150 to $200 after spending at least $500 in the first 3 months. Now, $500 is pretty easy to spend these days, especially in 90 days, so you're pretty much bound to get that $200 bonus without much effort. There are also occasionally other offers such as 10% back on grocery stores, up to $12,000 spent in the first 12 months, which, depending on your spending habits, may or may not be worth it compared to the $200 bonus. Then you have the ongoing benefits, which the big draw of the Freedom Flex is the cash back. You get 3% cash back on restaurants, takeout, delivery services, and drugstores, and a very nice 5% cash back on travel when you book through the Chase Travel Portal. And on everything else, you'll only be getting 1% cash back. So that in and of itself already isn't that bad. Who doesn't like cash back? But the Freedom Flex really sets itself apart thanks to the rotating quarterly benefits. Here's how it works. Every quarter, the card will offer you a 5% cash back in the categories that are designated for that quarter. Let's say we're in Q1 and Chase announces that grocery stores are on the list. That means that any money you spend with your Flex card on eligible grocery store purchases from the beginning of January to the end of March will net you not 1% cash back, but 5%. However, in Q2, new categories are chosen and you would then only be getting 1% earnings for grocery stores, since that would fall into all other purchases. Now, this is huge and it's a big reason why people pick up this card. If you keep track and optimize spending in the categories that are boosted for each quarter, you can end up earning a solid amount of points. You're obviously time limited, and some of you may not want the added effort of always having to remember where and when to spend every 3 months, but there's no denying that if you play your cards right, you can get a lot out of the Freedom Flex. Now, I want to focus on the quarterly earnings a little more since they're by far the most important part of the card. And of course, there are limitations to how much you can receive in cash back for each quarter. The cap is $1,500 per quarter, so don't go absolutely crazy thinking you can get thousands in cash back a year from only those quarterly bonuses. So once you've hit the $1,500 mark in combined purchases for the categories in that quarter, you'll be back to being able to only earn from the card's regular earning categories. Luckily, there are no limits with your regular card earnings, so capitalize in those spending areas when you can. Another thing to keep in mind is that these quarterly bonuses don't activate automatically, so you have to switch them on yourself. You can either head to chasebonus.com and activate them there or on the Chase app. On chasebonus.com, you'll need to provide your last name, the last 4 digits of your card, and your billing zip code. Once you've done that, just click on Activate Now and you're good to go. Just remember to do this every new quarter, or you can cause yourself to miss out on earning those points. Let's take a quick look at what's on offer this quarter, which runs until the end of September, so a couple more weeks. In Q3, you get 5% cash back on gas stations, EV charging, live entertainment, and movie theaters. Now, sometimes the quarterly categories overlap with the card's regular bonuses. In quarter 2, the category was restaurants and hotels, and since the card already gives you 3% cashback at restaurants, that means for Q2, you earned a nice 7% cash back by eating out. It was even better for hotels, which surprisingly rose to 9% cash back. By having a Chase card that earns reward points, you have the ability to earn even more points on your purchases outside of the earnings that we talked about. One way is through the Chase shopping portal, which offers a nice variety of stores to make purchases through to earn additional reward points. Through here, you can easily earn an additional 2, 3, or even 5 times or more points per dollar on purchases with select stores. You also have another feature, which is Chase Offers. And this works similar to the shopping portal, where you can get more reward points and discounts for purchases with those stores. Oh, and don't forget, you can have different earning rates between different cards. So if you have other Chase cards, be sure to check their earnings too. Now, this all sounds too good to be true, right? Well, there are drawbacks to the Freedom Flex that could put you off to signing up. Let's quickly go over them and see who should pick it up and who should look elsewhere. But before that, if you're getting value from this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to help support the channel. So I think there's one point that we can all agree on and get out of the way, which is that the Freedom Flex is a good credit card. Any no annual fee card that comes with this much value attached is always going to be a plus in my book. The obvious drawback is that unless you're taking full advantage of the quarterly bonuses every time they come up, the Freedom Flex can be a little dry. Sure, you might get 5% on travel through Chase Portal and 3% on restaurants and drugstores, but some of these categories can be a bit limiting for your average spender. I think even having one additional spend area for people like groceries added to this card as a regular category would be a huge plus. Also, keep in mind, you have to remember to activate your bonus. It sounds ridiculous, I know, but you'd be shocked by the amount of people I know that assume they activated their bonus earnings, went and did some spending, and then later on realized that they hadn't activated it. Ask me how I know. No annual fee cards are usually branded as being low maintenance and stress-free, apart from hitting a sign-up bonus in the first few months. The Freedom Flex, though, requires a bit more tracking compared to its alternatives. This brings me on to my next point. Just like anything when it comes to credit cards, there's always an opportunity cost. The Freedom Flex might have a good bonus and some nice benefits, but is it worth it if you're missing out on the other benefits that other cards offer to make it work? There are some solid competitors to this card. For example, 2 that come to mind are the Citi Custom Cash and the Capital One Saver One card. The Citi Custom Cash, in a way, is a more flexible version of the Freedom Flex, but the potential returns aren't quite as good. Instead of Chase setting quarterly bonuses independently and you having to adjust your spending accordingly, Citi automatically identifies the eligible category that you spend the most in and offers you 5% cash back on those purchases. The card also has a special offer of 4% cash back on hotels, car rentals, and attractions booked through Citi Travel until June 2025. And then you have the same 1% rate as Chase on all other purchases. This makes it a much easier card to manage, but there are drawbacks. The sign-up bonus is $200, but only after spending $1,500, which is a bit bigger in comparison to the Freedom Flex's $500 bonus spend. Not only that, you only get 5% cashback rate on the first $500 spent on your top spending category only, and everything else is 1%, which can really limit your earnings potential if you spend more in that category regularly or you've spent in any other categories at all. Finally, you also don't enjoy that 3% flat earnings on things like dining out and drugstores. The Citi Custom Cash is much more straightforward and simple to use. And if you only had the choice to be able to maximize spend on just one of these cards, you definitely miss out on some good value compared to the Freedom Flex and its categories. But either way, it depends on your personal spending, but I think it's still a great card to have. The Saver One is also a more stress-free option and a great choice for whether you're a beginner or not. It offers 5% cashback on hotels and rental cars that are booked through Capital One Travel and then 3% cashback in categories like grocery stores, restaurants, and streaming services, plus 1% on everything else. With these categories to earn in, this card gives you the opportunity to earn some nice points in areas that many people tend to spend in. Not only that, but the Saver One comes with no foreign transaction fees and a few other good features and benefits that I won't get into now, but I do talk about it in my Capital One video that I'll link in the description below. But don't sleep on this card either. And that leads me to making my final criticism of the Freedom Flex by saying that it's just not a great card if you're traveling outside of the country. Every purchase that you make abroad, you're gonna get slapped with a nasty 3% foreign transaction fee. So only use this at home. If you jump around a lot, a simple no foreign transaction fee alternative like the Saver One card could be a really good option instead. Okay, let's quickly recap. Is this card worth adding to your wallet? In my opinion, yes. It provides great value, and since it's a no annual fee card, no need to worry about the cost creeping up on you every year. Sure, for some, it might be a bit of a headache to manage or a little tedious for your very first reward card, but I think it's definitely worth picking up to get access to Chase's great card ecosystem and earning Chase points. Are you planning on getting the Freedom Flex, or does it seem like too much of a hassle? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to learn how to unlock some serious value at a Chase for travel using the Chase trifecta, be sure to check out this video here. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.